Does anybody know the girl? Who's that girl? Anybody know that girl?
She just had a gas mask on and they grabbed her. Just because she had the gas mask, they fucking grabbed her. Oh yeah.
Did you see anything?
I saw the whole thing.
What happened?
She had a gas mask on and she was walking through, and as soon as they saw the gas mask, they pulled her in, arrested her.
Work hard like you always have.
Their police and their jails could not break our solidarity, but now we are facing something new. The IMF and the WTO have come to cut us loose again from the home that we built here in the factory and the people that we found here in each other. They put me on a contract, and so I must go again. Don't cry, I must go. On the heavy road to Seoul, climbing the white and black thirsting hills to sell my innocence. Walking through the streets of Seoul at night, even I can almost believe. Almost believe in the fragile surface of prosperity made from concrete and flat screens. It would be easy to walk these streets and not notice the violence just beneath the surface, the slow, crushing poverty of the working poor, and the crisis that looms just ahead of us. Bai Del-ho spent his life in the factory. Over 2 decades, he built a family and a home and some dignity there. But when the IMF came to privatize the industry, he struck with his union, and then they took away his job, his home, his bank account, and his children's future. On a Sunday morning in May, he set himself on fire in front of his factory gate. We have seen what the system has done in other countries, and we know what hunger looks like in the street. When we strike today, we are fighting for our lives, for our children's lives, for the lives of those who came before.
In the last decades of the 20th century, the world's economic map was redrawn. Factories were closed in the north and sweatshops open in the south. Peasants were forced off their land, family farms replaced by agricultural companies, small businesses wiped out by giant chain stores. Towns and regions died away as waves of economic refugees came looking for work in the capitals of economic power. A few companies grew very rich, and most of us grew poor. In North America, politicians from Canada, the United States, and Mexico signed a treaty to make these economic changes permanent. This treaty was called NAFTA, and it became law on January 1st, 1994.
Hermanos y hermanas, nosotros somos indígenas y representamos al Ejército Zapatista de Liberación Nacional que se alzó en armas en contra del Supremo Gobierno y que mantiene en alto sus banderas de democracia, libertad y justicia para todos los mexicanos. Nosotros somos guerreros, somos los últimos de una generación de hombres y mujeres cuya encomienda colectiva ha sido el ser guardián y corazón de nuestros pueblos.
¡Viva el Ejército Zapatista de Liberación Nacional! ¡Viva! ¡El Nacho no es cuartel! ¡Fuera ejército de él! ¡El Nacho no es cuartel! ¡Fuera ejército de él! ¡El Nacho no es cuartel! ¡Fuera ejército de él! ¡El Nacho no es cuartel! ¡Fuera ejército de él! ¡El Nacho no es cuartel! ¡Fuera ejército de él!
Propagandists call themselves the public relations industry. But do not be fooled. Public relations and propaganda are interchangeable. And it is the massive public relations industry that is designed to alter perception reshape reality, and manufacture consent.
A Hollywood set designer was brought in to create a $200,000 backdrop for official war briefings.
Today, America alone has more public relations propagandists than reporters, which means that nearly half of what people in the West hear, see, or read is written by professional liars. Professional liars whose job it is to keep people in front of their televisions, reading gossip magazines, eating vast amounts of toxic food, and shopping, always shopping, for the latest fashions and trends. That's the ideal for propagandists. And great efforts are made in trying to achieve and maintain that ideal. Anything that keeps the masses from organizing themselves and asking important questions about what their masters are really up to.
An ad hoc legal approach for fighting terrorism. President Obama today proposed something new, something called prolonged detention. Doesn't sound that bad, right? Prolonged detention. Did you ever see the movie Minority Report? It was based on a Philip K. Dick short story, came out in 2002. It starred Tom Cruise, remember? He played a police officer in something called the Department of Pre-Crime. Pre-crime is where people are arrested and incarcerated to prevent crimes that they have not yet committed.
Mr. Marks, by mandate of the District of Columbia Pre-Crime Division, I'm placing you under arrest for the future murder of Sarah Marks and Donald Dumanos. Take place today, April 22nd, at 0800 hours, 4 minutes. No, I didn't do anything.
You didn't do anything, but you're gonna. Future murder. Creepy, right? Putting somebody in jail not for what they've done, but for what you're very sure they're going to do?
There may be a number of people who cannot be prosecuted for past crimes. In some cases because evidence may be tainted, but who nonetheless pose a threat to the security of the United States.
We're not prosecuting them for past crimes, but we need to keep them in prison because of our expectation of their future crimes.
Al-Qaeda terrorists and their affiliates are at war with the United States, and those that we capture, like other prisoners of war, must be prevented from attacking us again.
Prevented. We will incarcerate people preventively. Preventive incarceration. Indefinite detention without trial. That's what this is. That's what President Obama proposed today, if you strip away the euphemisms. One civil liberties advocate told the New York Times today, quote, "We've known this was on the horizon for many years, but we were able to hold it off with George Bush. The idea that we might find ourselves fighting with the Obama administration over these powers is really stunning." And it is stunning.
You both were members of Skull and Bones, a secret society at Yale. What does that tell us? Not much, because it's a secret.
You were both in Skull and Bones, the secret society. It's so secret we can't talk about it.
Having production of goods in private hands. Having production of goods in private hands.
Having production of goods in private hands. Having production of goods in private hands. Having production of goods in private hands. Having production of goods in private hands.
You don't go into the city to do the world some good. You go there to make money as quickly as possible. And if that means lying, cheating, and stealing, that's what you do.
Money is a non-existent theoretical force that has never, does not, and will never exist except in theory on computer screens. People die and starve because they don't have enough digits on a computer screen. It's incredible and it's extraordinary and it's grotesque, but unfortunately it's true. People think, what is money? Well, how is money created? There's another big question. Oh, it's governments. No! It's private banks lending non-existent money called credit. What is credit? There's your credit. That's it. When you go into a bank and you want to borrow $50,000, the bank doesn't print any money. It doesn't move precious metals anywhere. types into your account $50,000, and from that moment you start owing it not only $50,000 but the interest on the $50,000. And if you can't pay that back through no fault of your own, because the banking system has done what it's just done and you lose your job so you can't pay them back, they get your wealth that does exist, your home, your car, your business, your land. It's been going on for centuries. This is why it has sucked the wealth of the world into the hands.
They have mastered the use of propaganda over 99% of the world's population, turning them into consumer slaves who work harder and harder to buy things they don't need. These consumer slaves are also made to pay taxes to their government, money which is used to develop new weapons for the pernicious invasions and occupations of other countries. In the last 5 years alone, they've given their owners more than $1 trillion for these illegal and immoral wars that can't be won, and are even encouraged to send their own children to fight them.
I asked some friends because I was hearing a lot about her, and so they told me, you know, who she was and what she was doing. And I come from the school of thought there's just some things that the public just shouldn't know. You know what I'm saying? Like things that happen between two people, a wife and a husband, girl. I just don't think that it's for mass consumption. I just have always felt that way, and I just think that the whole idea of celebrity and fame has become really convoluted and, you know, kind of bastardized, like whereas fame used to be the byproduct of success and now it's the ultimate goal. And if your ultimate goal is to be famous, then you're gonna do a lot to get there, like sign your name in blood in a contract with the devil. Like you're gonna end up on a one-way street and it's going nowhere. Like that's just the truth. I've seen so many people like forsake their moral code and their value systems just for a little bit of fame, and it's not worth it at the end of the day. It's really not.
Has this man just broken a world record? Has he just created a medicine that can save thousands of lives? Perhaps he's been chosen to represent his community in some way. No, this man has just purchased a telephone. And these people, what is making them scream and cry with such profound joy? They are on a television program where they are receiving consumer items. This for some boots. This for some clothes shelves. And this hysteria is not because they have found God, but because they are receiving sneakers. The propagandist knows that an individual has a natural desire to be on a winning side and appear to fit in with the crowd. One of the easiest ways to achieve this is to make them chant favorable, yet deliberately vague slogans like, "This changes everything."
This is going to change everything.
Just do it. I'm loving it.
negara-negara utara. Bukan hanya Indonesia, semua negara-negara kulit berwarna. Sehingga Barat menjadi kuat, menjadi makmur, menguasai keuangan dan perdagangan sampai sekarang. Nah, sekarang didikte oleh IMF, oleh Bank Dunia. Negeri yang begini kaya diubah menjadi negara pengemis sekarang, Indonesia. Karena tidak adanya karakter pada
The 1960s, a period of heightened awareness and rebellion against the establishment, with students leading the resistance. But when the situation seems to be getting out of hand, the establishment ordered it to be stopped, and the propagandists moved quickly to lead the young people away from dangerous protests into such fashionable protests. That was then. This is now. Fashion, celebrity, sex, music, technology, any kind of revolution except the social revolution.
The promise of these things, brutes have risen to power, but they lie. They do not fulfill that promise. They never will. Dictators free themselves, but they enslave the people. Now let us fight to fulfill that promise. Let us fight to free the world, to do away with national barriers, to do away with greed, with hate and intolerance. Let us fight for a world of reason.
Revolutionary Volume 2. It's on now, motherfucker. Lock and load. This is the point of no return, I can never go back. Life without parole, upstate, shackled and trapped. Living in the hole, looking at the world through a crack. But fuck that, I'd rather shoot it out and get clapped. I've gone too far, there ain't no coming back for me. Auschwitz gas chamber full of Zyklon B. Just like the Spanish exterminating Tainos, raping the black and Indian women, creating Latinos. Motherfuckers made me out of self-righteous hatred, and now you got yourself a virus, stuck in the matrix, a suicide bomber, strapped and ready to blow. Lethal injection, strapped down, ready to go. Don't you understand? They'll never let me live out in peace. Concrete jungle, guerrilla war out in the streets. Nat Turner with the sickle, pitchfork and machete. The end of the world, motherfucker, you not ready. This is the point of no return and nobody can stop it. Malcolm Little when he knelt before Elijah Muhammad, the comet that killed the dinosaurs, changing the earth. They love to criticize, they always say I change for the worse. Like prescription pills when you misusing them, nigga. The Templar Knights when they took Jerusalem, nigga, and figured out what was buried under Solomon's temple, Al-Aqsa. The name is not coincidental. I know too much, the government is trying to murder me. No coming back like cutting your wrists open vertically. How could the serpent be purposely put in charge of the country? Genetic engineered sickness spread amongst me. My people are so hungry that they attack without reason, like a fucking dog ripping off the hand that feeds him. Immortal technique is treason to the Patriot Act. So come and get me, motherfucker, cause I'm not coming back. This is the point from which I can never return, and if I back down now, then forever I burn. This is the point from which I can never retreat, cause if I turn back now, there can never be peace. This is the point from which I will die, succeed, live in the struggle. I know I'm alive when I bleed. From now on, it can never be the same as before, cause the place that I'm from doesn't exist anymore. This is the point of no return, nigga, you better believe this. Mary Magdalene giving birth to the children of Jesus. The evolution of the world, bloody and dramatic. Human beings killing monkeys to conquer the planet. The kingdoms of Africa and Mesopotamia. Machine gun your body with depleted uranium. This is the age of microchips and titanium. The dark side of the moon, in contact with aliens. I started out like Australians, criminal minded, broke into hell, tore it down and built the city behind it. Southpaw, murderous methodology, nigga. Remember that I'm just a man, don't follow me, nigga. Cause once you pass the point, you can never go home. You gotta face the possibility of dying alone. So tell me, motherfucker, how could you die for the throne when you don't even got the fucking heart to die for your own? It rains acid, one day the earth will cry from a stone, and you'll be looking at the world living inside of a dome. Computerized humanity living inside of a clone. This is the place where the unknown is living and real. Wormwood, the planet X, and the seventh seal. Universal truth is not measured in mass appeal. This is the last time that I kneel and pray to the sky, cause almost everything that I was ever told was a lie. This is the point from which I can never return, and if I back down now, then forever I burn. This is the point from which I can never retreat, cause if I turn back now, there can never be peace. This is the point from which I will die, succeed, live in the struggle. I know I'm alive when I bleed. From now on, it can never be the same as before, cause the place that I'm from doesn't exist anymore.
Winners give a press conference, and how to buy a sailboat as prime news.
Like shit. I'm on it.
What's wrong?
All the sex and violence on the screen has gone too far for me. I'm fed up with it. Filmmakers like George Romero and John Carpenter have to show some restraint. They're simply